Hello there, lovely people. This is me, Ashley, sending you my love from whatever reality I happen to be in today to whatever reality you find yourself in. It's been a while since I've made a video, and believe me, there's loads of things that I want to cover. I will be making a video about a connection that I think there's a connection with the Mandela effect and global warming. I want to make a program. Where am I? Excuse me. I want to make a video about that. I want to make a video about an update on what's been going on. But at the minute, today's video really is, I'm finding it harder, not easier. It's been nearly a year since I first did my first vlogs. And although, yes, I'm not in that horrible place where I think I'm losing my mind all the time and I can't cope with it. I don't do a lot of losing it very much anymore, but it's getting harder. It's getting harder and harder trying to live with the unaffected while the changes, I can't keep up with the changes. I cannot keep up with the changes. For instance, the price of my fare, my train fare, it was the normal fare, £38. Then the next time I went on the train, which was a couple of weeks later, it was £45. And today, it was £35. I mean, I don't know what the price is anymore. Every time I go on the train, it's a different price. And I can't keep up with it. I can't keep up with that. I mean, the last time it happened and it was £45, I said, what, it's gone up again? Because we had a rise. And she just looked at me blankly, like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not a rise, it's the price kind of thing. And then today, I'm expecting it to be £45, and it wasn't. Wasn't the normal £38 either. It was 35. So, this is a train journey I've been taking for the last 4 years. You know, it's... I can't keep up with it. I cannot keep up with the change. They're happening so fast. They're happening all the time. And what's really bad is trying to cope with it when you're living amongst the non-affected. Because, put it this way, there are things... Oh, God... Things that have happened before that are just happening now. For instance, a celebrity couple, Fern Cotton and Phil Vickery, were married in my reality, and they split up. They got divorced. It was very sad. Now, in this reality, they've just celebrated their 18-year anniversary. Then there's this soap woman who got married a few years ago in my reality, and she just got engaged in this one. I mean, I can't keep up. Wailing. They've been wailing again for about 3 years in my reality, and at least 3 years. And in this reality, it's only just happened. In Britain, we had there's an Antarctic explorer boat that was I call it a boat. It's absolutely top of the range scientific vessel. And they asked Britain to come up with a name for it, and the one that was most popular was Boaty McBoatface. And obviously the powers that be couldn't call it Boaty McBoatface, and they called it Sir Richard Attenborough. Richard Attenborough, he is like a national hero to us Brits. He taught us all about the natural world and went all around the globe showing us nature. So it makes sense that they've named it after him, and they've made a submarine called Boaty. They called it Boaty, but that's not the point. The real point here is that set off sailing a couple of years ago to me. It's only just set off recently, and I'm finding it difficult. I mean, my husband, when the whaling situation, I mean, I can't help but mention these things. I can't, because hello, it's different. And yeah, he remembered it being, he couldn't really understand why they were going on about whaling just starting up in Japan when they'd been doing it for about 3 years. See, he noticed that himself. It's not like he doesn't notice, he just tends to ignore. And this is where it's getting really difficult. It's that I'm constantly seeing the new changes. Excuse me. When I'm here in this place, I don't watch TV, I don't have a TV, but when I'm back with my family, I'm watching TV with them. and I'm seeing my flag that's not my flag. I'm seeing the US flag that's not the US flag. I'm seeing maps with Germany on it attached to Denmark. I'm seeing geography of the world in my face every day different. I'm watching my own country morph into something else. I'm seeing Italy nearly kicking Sicily over France. It's that close. I'm seeing it in my face all the time. All the time. It's coming up on programs that I'm watching, and this is where I'm getting to the real point that makes it very, very difficult. If you've watched some of my earlier videos, I've talked about how one of the main reasons that I don't speak to my loved ones about the Mandela effect at all anymore is because, well, they're mean, nasty, and they get annoyed. They get annoyed very easily, and they forget the conversation, and it's terrible. And a good few months ago now, my husband and I were watching a programme about American fibs, the greatest American fibs of all time. It's actually, rewriting the history. Now, when we first watched this programme, it said clearly that there were 52 states in America. And I lost it because that was just too much for me. And I started to debate it with my husband. I started to say, 52 states? And he's like, yeah, 52 states. And I said, but Steve, I've always been confused about how many states there are in America. Now, don't get me wrong. I haven't ever told him why. That's because for me it changed in the 1980s, but I've never actually said that to him. I just said I've always been confused about it. And I said, and you told me that the film with Samuel L. Jackson called The 51st State was about us, Britain, because there's 50 states in America and we're the 51st state. So he's looking blankly at me like, how can that be right if there's like 52 states and it says there's 52 states, there's 52 states. We had a massive row about it. I've discussed it before. Well, we've been watching the replay of it, the repeat of it. Only this time, she says the 50 states of America, which is hard enough for me to deal with. And then you've got Steve giving it large. Yeah, 51st state. Like I told you, 51st state. So he clearly remembers something about the conversation and the row that we had. Because it turned into a row that 2 weeks later he'd forgotten about completely. And it was a major shouting at each other because I was that frustrated with him. And then suddenly he's going back to, yeah, it's 52 states. I'm sorry, yeah, it's 50 states. And, well, that's what it's 51st state. Told you, 50. And can you understand how hard it was for me to not shout at him? But that was when it was saying 52 states. It's now saying 51. So I can't say any of this to him because it'll start another row. So he clearly remembers something about the conversation. But now he's forgotten that I was saying, but how can it be 52 states? Because you told me about the 51st state the film had been about, us, blah, blah, blah. Now he's kind of won the day with that in his own mind. It's like he told me all along that's what it was, but that's... He told me originally about the film being the 51st state, but we slipped into 52 states again for a while. And then we're back to 50, and we're watching a repeat of the programme, and he thinks that he's proved his point to me. And I just want to slap him in the face and say, but it was 52 states then, and go through the whole conversation again. But I can't. Living with the changes around the non-affected is the hardest thing. I can't keep up with it. And also, there's another thing. There's on one of my other vlogs, I was telling you about on the ground changes, and one of them was where there was some brushland, and then it was cut down, and there were two beautiful houses on it, beautiful stone houses that disappeared. And when I mentioned it to my husband, he said, "Oh no, it's always been brushland. There's never been houses." But there was. Well, it has taken the people that apparently it's been brushland all along, and there were never any houses there. So they've cleared all the land, and it was like left for ages with just in the same state, which was like the footings, and it was like that. The last time I went up the road, and it was exactly the same. It'd been like that for about 4 months, no change. I went up the day after, One of the houses was like half built. No, that does not happen in a day. That does not happen in a day. And I want to say to my husband, whoa, can you see that? That wasn't there yesterday. And I can't, can I? And then today I went back up that road, and the other house that they're building is halfway up in a matter of a week. But over the space of, from one day when absolutely nothing, it was the same as it had been for 4 months, because I was wondering when they were actually going to do anything about it with winter kicking in, to the next day, there's half a building. And then, four days later, I see it today, and there's the other half a house. And he hasn't seen it, and he doesn't notice it. So he sees some changes. He does. But he dismisses them. And he just plain doesn't see some of them that are smacking him in the face. And I can't deal with that. I'm finding it difficult to live with, because I'm seeing this new world everywhere. I'm seeing it all over the place. I'm sick of seeing my flag that's not right, my country that's not right, my world that's not right, the map not right. History repeating itself. I can't cope with it. How the hell do we cope with it? Living with the non-affected while seeing this. And recently, the last few days, the last week, it's been quite a big shift. And I know that because I got very, 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 feeble. I've felt terrible. I felt really bad the last few days, not well at all. And I've noticed that my energy levels are zapped completely when there's big changes going on. I know there's changes going on all the time. And I on the train today, between 2 stations, it had utterly changed. It was, all of them, it was right, all the houses were right up to the line, to the railway line, all the way between 2 sets of stations. That's completely different. I've been travelling this journey for over 30 years. In fact, 40 to be fair. And it's changing, and I haven't got anybody to share it with, because nobody listens. Even the people that kind of understand, they're not affected by it like I am. I can't, and I certainly can't mention it to my actual family. It's hard. It's very hard. And that's why I want us to get together. I want to have a get together in the new year. You Brits out there, please, I'm going to try and organise some kind of gathering. Probably Birmingham, because it's midway, just for an afternoon or something, so we can get together and talk. Even if there's only one other person that turns up, I don't care. I just need to talk to somebody that sees what I see, that's affected like I am. So if you think that's a good idea and would like to be part of that, please let me know. And also ask any of your other, because obviously not everybody sees my video, my little videos, not everybody does. Thank you so much for finding me. I'm really so happy that you found me, because you keep me sane, because I know that you're dealing with exactly the same thing I am. And that's why I need to see you. There are definitely people out there that aren't in England that I need, or Britain, that I need to see, but if you're a Brit and you're affected, please come. Please come. Just let me know that you're interested, and let's see if we can have some kind of a gathering, a get-together, a loiter, and see if we can. I just want to be with some people that understand, even if it's only for a brief time. So, what do you think, guys? What do you think? You up for that? And if so, let me know in the comments, and we'll discuss it some more. So yeah, I'm really finding it very, very difficult living with the non-affected, trying to live in the real world, dealing with real world problems, when reality isn't reality, and the world that I'm walking through isn't mine. And change is happening all the time. All the time. I'm constantly questioning everything. I thought that happened then. Hasn't this already happened before? And It's just, sometimes, yeah, that has happened before. It don't make sense. Pass on to some other random shit. And I'm finding random shit really difficult. Just shallow shit I'm finding difficult. And living with the Mandela effect, seeing reality changes, living with people that don't see, it's the hardest thing of all, especially as it's moving so quickly all the time. There are changes all the time, and I just need to actually I want to touch somebody else. I don't mean to, sorry, I'll rephrase that. I just want to be in front of somebody else that is like me. So if you think that you're interested, let's see what we can do for the new year. In the meantime, thank you as ever for your love, support, and yeah, I know that I haven't been online very much. I have been dealing with real life problems. I haven't had very much time to come online, but thank you for your care and your concern and your love and your support and for finding me. Thank you so much for finding me. I couldn't do it without you. So, till next time, people, I love you all.